Okay, so I have run through this little scenario here several times, right? And I did it the way that the book says. I kind of augmented it a little bit with the token piece, right? I went ahead and I decided that I needed a quick reference. So I just kind of threw this together, and you can see that I've written on it there with the solo GM phase. So I'm still kind of developing the process, but I think that I've landed on something that is both entertaining and works really well for solo play, especially with ready-made dungeons like this. So it's going to bode really well in terms of the old maze boards too, and any other sort of boards that you have that are already, kind of sort of had that layout, right? So the way that it works is there's 3 phases, right? Still the same, right? You have your player phase, and that's where I can have my characters and they can change armor, right? Weapons, do all that kind of stuff, move around, line themselves up with the doors, and ready to go. And then that's that phase, right? And then there's the exploration phase, and that's where you open the door, you determine what's in there, what kind of room is this, and then kind of go from there, right? And then what's in there exactly, right? What I said, and so then we kick off, right? So either there's monsters in there, or some other kind of furniture piece, perhaps, or some kind of other just little nugget of the adventure is going to take place. So with this adventure, our goal is to find lairs where there are caskets, where we can possibly find a key for the final level, right? For the final boss. That's kind of what we're looking for. That's one of the things that we know about, right? The rest of it is, what's in here? Can we maybe clear this place out? Can we maybe get some gold and some treasure? And so let's kind of take a look at that. Now, I did also sort of change some things up character-wise. I had previously had Pithorn Lunabora as a light mage elf. And I have to tell you, I was not very excited about playing him after a couple of scenario run-throughs on the map. It's a guy that has healing spells and a dagger. And, at this particular point in the game, I wasn't really feeling it, right? So I've kind of changed him up to a fighter mage, still keeping the light wizard sort of focus on him, right? Because now he gets 2 spells instead of 4, but he's got that sword too, so he can actually help the group out with some combat. Additionally, I have augmented the game with the furniture deck and the dungeon events deck from Heroquest, and so the furniture piece is really done well. So I'm excited about that, and implementing that will be great fun. The dungeon events, that one, some of the events that are in there need to be tweaked just a little bit in order to have them fit with advanced Heroquest. So I am starting to think about additional events, right? Dungeon events that I can put together on my own, maybe with a D12 roll, 2D12 or something like that. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at. So I'm going to just kind of run through a little scenario here. Maybe I do a couple of rooms so you can kind of see, and then we'll do a whole playthrough with this level. So here we go. All right, you guys. So I partnered with Dita de Gaita, and as you know, I had put together this solo reference and said, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a sharper way and a more streamlined version of this. And so Dieter responded in kind by saying, yes, you're correct. Yours is not good. How about this one? No, he didn't say that at all. But he improved it, right? He put the token piece on here for this solo reference sheet. We also added here on the solo GM phase, now it's draw counter if you roll a 1, instead of 2 to 11 being nothing. In the middle, there's dungeon events. So that's a totally optional piece that you can do if you've got your dungeon events happening. And then of course 7 to 11 is nothing. And then of course draw a counter on a 12 right there. But we've got the trimmers and a warp with a little bit of explanation there for those casters that are really pushing the limits. Hand-to-hand, ranged combats, and then the monster AI there with the GM, solo GM kind of thing. And then on the back side is the table for monster treasures. So there you go. And so currently I am also putting together some events. I would love some participation, you guys, some help with this. Dieter has said that he would help us create a advanced Heroquest event table. I'm loving it. So if you have some ideas about an event like finding a dead body and searching it and then rolling the dice, what kind of a thing are we finding in there? That would be amazing. So if you can put some stuff in the comments, some suggestions. I've started to work on this already. Got some suggestions in the Advanced Heroquest group, in the Dungeon Dive group there as well on Facebooks, and would love to see if there are any more suggestions in terms of putting together some events. So let's run a couple rooms, exploration phases and GM phases so you can kind of see here how this works. So, all right, so we are running the warrior and the cleric, right? The warrior priest, the dwarf, and the elf fighter mage here. So we are going to go ahead and we're going to line up right here on this main door. Man, I am thinking that I want to go and maybe split the group, but we know how bad that can be, right? We know that we don't want to split the group. Anyway, we're going to go ahead. Okay, so this is our player phase. Moving up to the door, we're all lined up, we're ready to go. We're going to go into our exploration phase. And then here it is. So we are going to roll on the passage feature, right? This is what we're looking for. That's 2d12 to see what's in here. So that is 6, 10. With a 10, that is nothing. So we open this door and there's nothing in here. So we move through it. We're going to come down here like so. I think we're going to do some of this action up in here like this, just to kind of move everybody down in the corridor. And so that is sort of the exploration phase piece of it. And then with that's right, so there's nothing in here. And now we're going to roll on the GM phase right here. That's going to be here where we determine if there's an event or if we're drawing a counter or if nothing's going to happen. So 3. And that is nothing. Nothing happens. So there you go. I really should have, coming back, exploration phase, then do the GM phase. Right, we already rolled the contents, nothing there. Roll for the solo GM phase there on that piece, and then moved in. So this is actually, should have moved with the player phase with this guys here, right? So there you go. So now that we move, so if we can get that correct, and bear with me, right, as I'm kind of figuring this out and trying to talk through the rules and the different pieces of what we're looking at. Okay, so we know that there are doors here. We see that there's doors here. Man, there's lots of doors in this hizzy. Here and then here. All right, so here we go. All right, so there we have it now. So we're going to continue, right, then with the player movement phase. So I really should have done the exploration phase and then rolled to see what was in the corridors. Nothing in the corridor. And then now we're going to move, right? So we're gonna move, let's go all the way down here. So that's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you get 12 movement within that time period. We're just gonna go stack up on this door like so. That is the player movement. There, the player phase. Now we go into the exploration phase again. So with the exploration phase, we are going to roll again on this. As we open the door, what is in there? We are looking at room type is where we are. Opening up and looking at this room 3. It's a normal room. All right, so there's a normal room in there. And normal room basically is essentially empty usually, right? Now there's the furniture edition, which says if you roll on the furniture, it's basically a 50-50 shot if there's furniture in there. So if it's a 1 to 6, there's no furniture. 7 through 12, there's furniture in there. So let's just see what we've got here. Up there is going to be some furniture. We're going to draw our card, and then here it is. There's actually for the Axiom Quest furniture, I think skeletal remains are in here. Okay, so we have some skeletal remains. And let's go ahead and look at that. And here we go. Bam. Skeletal remains are up in here. So there's a little table to roll on here. Let's roll it and see what it says as we come in to the room. All right. All of our heroes have entered the room. Here we go. Ta-da. Boom, and 9 is what we rolled there. You find a pouch with 2 D6 times 5 coins. So 2. All right, well, there wasn't a whole lot of coins in there. That's 2 D6 to 7. All right, 35 coins in there. So we're just gonna put that in there, 35 GP. All right, cool. So that is it. So that is what happens here. Then we're gonna have the GM phase now. And so that's where we're going to roll on the table for the solo GM. 5, and that is nothing again. So there's nothing there. So it's the solo GM phase. That was it. And now we are back into the player phase. And so with that, we're going to move. Let's just start here. We're going to go down to the next room. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm gonna move through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here we're gonna go all the way over, and then we know we've got this room here. All right, so that's the player phase. Now we go into the exploration phase, where we are going to open this door and find out what kind of room that is. Here we go. It's 11. What does that mean? The 11 is nothing. All right, so there's nothing here. We roll for furniture. There is furniture in this one as well. So we had a skeleton in this room. We have an Iron Maiden in this room. All right, so here we have an Iron Maiden, a little torture device in here. And do we want to go in and check it out? I think maybe we do. Let's go in here, you guys. We're just sightseeing. We're just kind of checking it out, seeing what it looks like up in here. So we get all of our heroes inside to come into the room and check out this guy. So this one also we roll 4. A mummy emerges and attacks immediately. Your turn is over. All right, so we now have a mummy that has come to join us. Let's find our little our mummy. And here he is. Warg. Comes out, bursting out of the Iron Maiden. And here we go. Let's get the mummy's card. Here we go. So mummy emerges. So now we start the combat phase. So we're going to roll initiative. We're going to do white heroes, black for the mummy. And mummy gets initiative, and he's going to attack, coming right out at the elf. All right, elf has a 10 combat. Here we go. Oh, he rolls a 12. That is going to be a hit for sure. So that is a critical hit as well. So he gets to roll another attack. And 7, which is a miss. So he got that hit though, and he cause disease, fearsome monster as well. So we're gonna have to roll against fear on this guy. And okay, let's just see here. So he got a hit. Toughness is toughness of 3. Oof. The elf mage just has a weakness. And that's a critical hit there, and more damage coming. Yes, and so that's 2 damage that he takes, but he also comes down with disease. Ugh, son of a gun, man. He came out of there like a shot and attacked our elf. So there you go. All right, so I'm gonna make a little comment here about disease. I'm gonna have to look that up here also and figure out how that works. Okay, so here we go. So toughness is reduced by 1. Also strength is reduced by 1 with the disease on there. And the only way to get rid of that is, man, if we find a potion, I guess, here in the dungeon, or we visit a healer in between the mission here once we're done. But that is painful. So an already low toughness hero is even less now. All right, so that was the mummy's attack. Man, he laid some power out there. The elf is going to strike back, and with a 3. But he has a weapon skill of 10, so he's a bad mamma jamma up against the weapon skill of 7. He needed a 4, so he missed badly, and so he is going to. He swung and he's going to move out of the way. Because he's weak, he's just going to back all the way up. That's going to bring our warrior over. Oh, and 11 he hits for sure. He's got 4 attack dice. And he got a 12, which is a double damage. Let's see here. Toughness on this guy is 8. Wow. So he hits him 1 time, but it's a critical hit. And he gets a roll damage again. All right. Actually, yeah. So 3 damage, 2 damage total. Right? And this guy has 4 wounds, so he takes 2. Okay, there we are. So that is craziness, right? Our dwarf is going to attack, and 3, well within range. and he ends up hitting this guy. And that does 4 damage for the pistol. Ends up doing 2 damage there, which is the other 2 that they needed. Okay, the threat is over. Holy moly, that was a big deal. And with that as well, the mummy brings us the possibility of getting some gold. So we're going to roll on the table for this. 4. That means nothing. So we got nothing for our troubles. Whew. All right, you guys. Well, that, that is the first sort of couple of rooms. We've did 3 exploration phases, solo GM phases, right? Player phases. And we're kind of moving through the dungeon. So we're going to regroup a little bit. I'm going to make sure that I'm aware of the phases that I'm in. And so we're going to get stronger and tighter as we go forward. So hope you're enjoying this here. And I'd love to hear about some kind of events for our event piece for solo adventuring for the solo GM AI. If you could post that in the link, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'd like to hear what you're thinking so far.